How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are having a great and exceptional day. All right, so we're going to get a little deep tonight, doing a little things a little bit differently. But this so the subject matter is that I originally was just going to talk about Worldstar hip hop and the ratchetry and make a comparison to other platforms that I remember growing up with because it not only was the beautiful thing is when I was growing up, if you don't know what Worldstar hip hop is, it basically is quote unquote hip hop news, but its whole big thing is it's a clout chasing platform to where it's just going to talk about majority of the ratchetry that happens only specifically within the hip hop community and the African American community, and obviously that's shock news is what gets what they used to call shock jocks, with the people that were on the radio. Now everybody has a podcast where it's just talking about stuff that's going to ooh and ah people and make people go, oh my god, or make people laugh all at the same time and just keep people entertained. Um, but at the end of the day, and I'm not hating on World Star Hip Hop. It's like it is what it is. I've seen a couple of videos on there before. Majority of the time, I've just seen a couple of videos from rappers who actually made a like great example. Lil Duval, living my best life. I got that on my playlist on YouTube. And that's on World Star Hip Hop. It's one of my favorite songs. Gets me going when I work out. But at the end of the day, it's just a platform that I think that over chastises ratchetry, aka twerking, and aka people fighting with each other. It's like people will do the most stupidest stuff nowadays to get attention. I mean, and like the last couple of months, I've been on TikTok a lot more. If you want to follow me on TikTok, Larry's Anything Goes LLC, real easy to find. But I've seen a lot of good positive stuff on TikTok, which that's why I'm not going to knock TikTok like a lot of people have, especially the older generation, because they just see a lot of the ratchetry. I see people selling their products. I see people becoming very successful with their businesses. I see people being models from all sizes, all races, people in intensifying their religious beliefs, people giving a lot of great motivational videos. And I love that. It's like if you know of a Tony Robinson and know of a Les Brown, you see a lot of people creating much more videos that give people hope, give people a sense of self, even like short clip how-to videos and things of that nature. So I commend TikTok on that aspect, and of course, it has its ratchetry. But the beautiful thing about TikTok is that you can fan all that out just like you can on any other social media platform. But when you look at platforms like World Star Hip Hop, to me, that's another story for another day. Okay, and then of course, I'm going to get to the Tiffany Haddish and Arie Spears thing that's come out lately, and it's crazy. Um, I don't condone it, but this obviously it was when you look at it, and like I said, I'll get into that later. But I'm just going to first off saying I don't condone it. And you talk about a person who Arie Spears, but definitely a fan of Tiffany Haddish in regards to the comedic. Arie Spears, comedic genius. Real life, total a hole. That's just what it is. I got to see him at the Ontario Improv back in 2018, I believe, and he killed it. But now I see why he's been kind of blackballed from Hollywood, or even a lot of just darn near everything, because in real life, yeah, he's a douchebag. It's just what it is. Like I was gonna gonna take a try to get a picture with him and whatnot at the show, and I was like, hey, I came up to him, gave him his props, and he's looking at me like I'm the devil. So I was just like, okay, forget it. Last time I go to an Arie Spears show, but he is funny. But it's just in real life he's a douchebag. That's just what it is, and I'm gonna call it out there because I got nothing to lose saying that. Arie Spears is a douchebag in real life, and it's like, yeah, I see why you've been blackballed in Hollywood. It's not just because you won't play the game; it's just that your personality is jacked up. A lot of times when it comes to personality, um, if you can't act professional in a professional setting on any level, then there's no point of anybody wanting to work with you. And I just keep it at that. But I will read the definition. Worldstar Hip Hop is home to everything entertainment and hip hop. I beg to differ. The number one urban outlet responsible for breaking the latest urban news and whatnot. But the problem is that I have with that statement is that it's always negative urban news. It's always, always, always negative. Okay. And if it's number one in today's world, it's pretty sad because, hey, I'm an 80s baby. I'm a millennial. I remember, like I said, the beautiful thing about my generation, we were not perfect, but the thing that I loved about my generation when it came from R&B and when it came from to hip hop music, there was a mixture of you had your gangsters, you had your conscious rappers, you had your pop rappers, you had the same thing with R&B singers. So that was the beautiful thing about the mixture. Whether you was watching, Rap City, In the Basement, MTV Rap, Yo MTV Raps, any other hip hop show that was out. Then you had back when obviously BET was actually owned by Bob Johnson and his wife. You had Teen Summit, you had Meet the Faith, you had real shows outside of just ratchetry and stupidity and whatnot. But that was a beautiful thing about, so when it comes to, obviously back then we didn't have websites, we had magazines. I'm talking about my childhood and my teen years. So you had the source, you had double XL and whatnot, you had Vibe magazine, you had all those different magazines and whatnot that had a mixture of all those things. Not just everybody was a thug and everybody talked like they had a fifth grade education and whatnot. Everybody had gold teeth in the mouth and everybody was just covered in tattoos and nobody, sounded like they were conscious. I remember even a time when even MTV, they interviewed a gentleman who interviewed a guy who was actually a school teacher. He taught the eighth people that were in the fourth or fifth grade and whatnot. But but he wanted to be a rapper on the side, so he was still a teacher, even though he got a record deal. And I thought that was a cool thing. It showed good positivity, not just negativity. Then you would see Cash Money records. Then you'd see Ja Rule. Then you'd see Jay Z. Then you see DMX. But then you see the Jurassic Five. Then you would see Cannabis. Then you would see Mos Def. Then you would see Talib Kweli. You have a mixture. Then you see Snoop Dogg. Then you see No Limit Records. You see Wu Tang, Twista, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Eminem, Nelly, Saint Lunatics, D12. You voiced the 5 9. So you had all those. Like I said, the beautiful thing about my generation is you could sounding like the same. Like you had Goody Mob, you had Outkast, you had Ti, you had Bubba Sparks. You could not sound like somebody else because they would basically look at you like you were crazy. That's why Ja Rule got a lot of flack for when he first came out because people would say that he sounded a little bit like DMX and whatnot. So he switched his style up so he could sound different. Like, and I'm going back into my old hip hop head days and whatnot, but that was a beautiful thing about my generation. People from Texas didn't sound like people from New Orleans. People from New Orleans didn't sound like people from Atlanta, even though they were all from the South. They all had different sounds and whatnot. Okay. Same thing in the Midwest. The St. Lunatics didn't sound anything like my favorite rapper, Tech Nine, who's from Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas. And the St. Lunatics and Nelly were from St. Louis, Missouri. All right, Chingy came out. He's from St. Louis, Missouri. Sounded nothing like Nelly and Ludacris, DTP, Disturbing the Peace and whatnot. They all had a different sound coming out of Atlanta and whatnot. And that's what made them awesome. Ghetto Boys, UGK, all both from Houston. Well, UGK was from Port Arthur, Texas. Um, the Ghetto Boys was from Houston, but they all had a different sound. And to me, that was one of the best things about that generation. And then you had, like I said, the quote unquote conscious rappers. You had Dead Prez. You had all these people that had different messages that would talk about things that were happening in the community. So you had your gangster rap, you had your pop rap. Diddy, Mace. You had your quote unquote hardcore gully rap, Mob Deep, Wu Tang Clan. Dipsets, Beanie Siegel, Freeway, State Property from Philadelphia, Corrupt, Daz, Dog Pound. The list goes on and on. Okay, the DJ Quick. The list goes on and on. People from the West Coast, East Coast, up Midwest, down South. It was definitely a vibe when it came to music because you had to sound different. Nowadays, most people sound the same. You know, and that's just what it is. Every generation is different, and I just have to give praise to my generation. But the reason why I'm going in on World Star Hip Hop is because at the end of the day, um, it just platforms like this just want to paint um they just want to paint basically everyone in a negative light, as far as in the hip hop community. And then when somebody is doing something positive and uplifting, they're not. It's not going to be broadcasted too much and whatnot. Even when like the BET Awards happens, it's always going to be the ratchetry that people are going to talk about the most, the stupidity, what somebody had on that they're going to talk about the most. And half the time, I'm like, who really freaking cares? you know. And that was the beautiful thing about a magazine like The Source, a magazine like Jet Magazine, Ebony Magazine, or whatnot. I know people have tried to save Ebony Magazine 1,000 times. Essence Magazine. Like I said, showing um, African Americans in more of a positive light, not just a negative light. Whether if it was people that were in actors, comedians, people owning businesses, people in politics, and things of that nature. You know, that was more of a positive light. But I know stupidity and ratchetry sells, and that's just what it is. That's what the algorithm loves out here in the social media world and online. So it's a different world, Because when you look at Ebony Magazine, founded back in 1945 by John H. Johnson of Chicago, his first publishing venture was Pocket Sized Negro Digest in 1949. It's crazy how far that magazine goes back. And Mr. Johnson envisioned Ebony as a news and photo magazine, patterned much Life After magazine, but especially designed for African American readers. And Ebony was immediately successful. So having more websites like that would be something that I would definitely like to see. Because as a kid, it was even nice. It was definitely nice to see, African Americans in more of a positive light, and then I could see us in a negative light. Because no group of people on the planet is positive. I mean, is perfect and whatnot. But seeing different aspects in various different forms is what it's all about. Not everything is one sided. Not everybody's going to be conservative. Not everybody's going to be liberal. Not everybody's going to be ratchet and crazy. Not everybody's going to wear suits all the time and whatnot. We know this. That's just what it is. And that was the wonderful thing about the Source magazine. It highlighted that, especially the main thing I used to love the most. Since we're talking about hip hop, is that I would see situations where, and we see it more now, but we see it back when I was growing up. It was more in a positive light and whatnot. When you think about a Diddy, when you think about Master P, when you even think about Suge Knight when Death Row Records first started, they talked about Russell Simmons with Def Jam. It was talked about in regards to black business ownership and how you could have no limit, have a vision of doing so many things, starting with music, but then venturing out and doing various other things. That's where Suge Knight lost his way. I believe Suge Knight would be not in prison right now. I believe that he would probably be one of the biggest business moguls in California right now if he would have kept his mind out of the street politics gutter. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? But because that was the thing with Master P. If he would have kept his mind in street politics in the Calio projects in freaking New Orleans, then he would not be owning food companies right now. He would not have all these other brands. He wouldn't still be making movies right now. Death Row could have made movies about stuff going on in South Central Los Angeles. They could have made movies that was happening in Seattle, Washington, and Oakland, California, and things of that nature. He could have had more brands, clothing brands, and things of that nature. Like because that's basically what Snoop Dogg is doing with Death Row to this day. Suge Knight could have owned a multitude of commercial real estate and local real estate. I've said this 1,000 times. I'll say it again. He could probably have his own movie production company and things of that nature. But if he would have just stuck to the business and stopped trying to be a gangster slash bully, because the best gangsters are the ones who write checks, not the ones who shoot bullets. But that's another story for another day. It's just like I always say, the most power is held when somebody can write a check to somebody, not cash a vote. But I leave it at that. But that is enough on that one. Last one, I remember seeing this as, like I said, as a child, and this was another magazine. It was sad to see it go away. I think, obviously, if it would have been taken over by more millennials and had more of a millennial mindset as far as the website, and then having creating content and whatnot, I think Jet magazine could probably still be around to this day if it just would have went forward with the millennial age, digital age mindset, because a lot of these organizations went bankrupt because, just like Blockbuster Videos, they just didn't have that forward thinking mentality. And I have to encourage everybody, regardless of what situation, never get too comfortable, always have a forward thinking mentality, because that's the best way for you to become obsolete in this world. Just like Ebony Magazine is obsolete right now, and Jet Magazine is obsolete right now. Glad to see the Source is still around, because the Source had to move forward amicably with the way that the world was moving digital. So I'll leave it at that. Jet Magazine was founded back in 1951 by John Johnson of Johnson Publishing Company, and it was published in Chicago. It was the weekly Negro magazine, weekly Negro news magazine. It printed a small digitized size format with covers that featured black and white photos in a single spot color. And I remember they used to have their calendars and all that great stuff, and had some great positive energy going on, talking about what was happening in the African American community. So, and the beautiful thing about today's world, you have more and more people that have their own blogs. You have more of these online digital platforms that are doing these things. But just remember that even in that aspect, you can become obsolete if you don't try to evolve with the times. I'm not going to say change with the times. I say evolve, because, like Tupac would always say, either you evolve, we grow, we all grow. Either you evolve or you disappear. And I don't care what the situation is. You either evolve or you disappear. But everyone's aspect of evolving is very, very different, and I can respect that. And I just go from there. All right. So, last but definitely not least, let's get into the meat and potatoes of it all. All right. Before we call it a night, because this was. I'm not going to show the video, but there's a video out there showing Tiffany Haddish and Arie Spears um, in untasteful light with a underage child, with an underage boy and whatnot. I don't condone this behavior whatsoever, and I'm just going to keep it real. Like I said, it was mostly. If you look at the video, it looks like it's mostly Arie Spears that was, obviously it was a skit mocking pedophiles. Okay, that's one thing that, it was a skit mocking pedophiles. So I just got to keep it real on that aspect. Um, and comedy is comedy. Obviously, they did not kidnap the child. Obviously, the parent consented to this format that they did back in 2013. I believe that the child now is an adult, because this is back in 2013. Now it's 2022. But at the end of the day, I don't condone it. It was definitely done in an untasteful light. But was there actually any specific, penetration going on? No. I can't even talk about this stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm just, put on record, I don't condone this kind of behavior at all. I but I don't think it was over the top of what really happens when it comes to pedophilia and whatnot. But I'll leave it at that. You let me know in the chat room what you think about the situation when it comes to Tiffany Haddish and Arie Spears, because and it was mostly, if you look at it, it's really mostly Arie Spears that was doing the untasteful things at the end of the day. You know, I'm not going to get too deep into it on that one, but he's definitely Arie Spears is a special guy. But this was a skit that was done, and the parent allowed their child to be put in this light, and I'm sure that in a sense that something like that traumatized this child. Like I said, I don't condone this kind of behavior, and now that the child is of age, but we'll see what happens and go from there. I know Tiffany Haddish has made a statement. I know Arie Spears has made a statement, and I'll leave it at that. But um, respect and decency, and you know, being professional in any aspect, a lot of times is a thing that's really disappearing a lot nowadays. Because no generation of people is ever perfect and whatnot. I will say that, but there's no way in hell my mom would have allowed me as a child to be in that commercial. She wouldn't have had it. I know if my father was alive, rest his soul, there's no way he would have let me be in that commercial. And I think if you would have found out that my mom even tried, or anybody in the family that would have tried to put me in as a child, as a young boy, in that commercial like that, I'm sure there would have been some, to quote the movie, Eddie Murphy from the movie Life, there would have been some consequences and repercussions going on. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So I don't condone, like I said, I don't condone that behavior whatsoever. It wasn't when you comes to pedophilia, I'm not gonna, for my judgment, it looks like it was about up to 40% of what happened. But you got to watch the video and be your own judge, because there was no actual penetration, but it was still tasteless. And I don't know any parent that would allow their child to go through something like that. I mean, to just, you know, like I said, I'm not gonna get into the details. I'll just leave it at that. You can look up the video yourself. It's actually, ironically, the only reason why I'm talking about it now is because when I was doing my research on Worldstar Hip Hop, they have a video on there not showing the whole thing, because it can get, it's not as graphic and whatnot, but it's just something that's it's not tasteful. Let's just put it like that. Comedy can get taken. Usually I'm the guy that, I love comedians. I love comedy. Like I said, I've seen both of them, but this is mostly on Arie Spears when you think about it. Tiffany Haddish, her role in the matter is very minimal compared to Arie Spears. But the whole purpose of the skit was to mock pedophiles. From what I saw and what I gathered. But do I condone it? Absolutely not. And I think most reasonable adults and people are not going to condone it when they see it. But will anybody go to jail over this? I doubt it. I most likely, there's just probably just going to be a settlement of some sort, or they just won't get it just get thrown out of court. I mean, I think that's where it's at right now. It's either going to get thrown out of court, or everything. It's all the beginning stages. Who knows where this thing is going to go? But from what I saw of the video, it looks like either it's going to get thrown out of court, or there will be a settlement of some sort and whatnot. Because if I had children, my son would have never been in that video. So that's just what it is. So I really wonder what was going through the mother or the father or both the parents' mind to let a child like that be in a video. So I'm just I can never, in good conscience, condone that kind of behavior. So, and I'm a guy who loves crazy comedy. I laugh at the craziest things ever, but there was nothing funny about this skit. You know, it was just, there was nothing funny about it. So I leave it at that. So I'm gonna get ready to call it a night, folks. Hopefully, let me know what you think if you've seen the skit in the comment section, family. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about Worldstar Hip Hop. Do you think that the ratchetry is going to get worse within the next 5 to 10 years because of the current generation of parents and the upcoming generation of parents? Heck, I was even told today in a local government building, there were two females dressed like they were about to go to the gym at a social services office, and they actually had one of the janitors twerking in the lobby. I mean, they had actually one of the janitors filming the two females twerking in the lobby. I'm just like, what the heck is going on? It's just like, if you're going to twerk, do it at home or do it at the club. But why does it always got to be in a place that it's just not called for? I don't understand it, but it is what it is. But on that note, family, do the great three things: like, share, and subscribe. If you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, don't forget to check out WEBULL, Stash, Acorns, Crypto.com, Coinbase. All those platforms are in the description. Check them out. You'll be able to make some money moves when you sign up with them. Also, don't forget to check out my online store. I'm going to play a video once I'm done with this, and have all the information in regards to Larry's Anything Goes Shopify store. But on that note, family, stay peaceful. Keep getting your knowledge. Have fun. Enjoy your life. I'm not going to say, I'm not with the uptightness. I'm from the DMV area, where it's AKA uptight country, where they live in Maryland, DC, or Virginia. But I'm saying, be respectful, be professional, have some class about yourself. There's nothing wrong with having some fun, but we need to bring having some sort of class back into the world, because a lot of people just thrive off of being trained to be the biggest idiots on the planet. We live in the biggest time frame of life where you have so much access to information, but access to information means nothing if you're not constantly implementing specific goals and aspirations and strategies. All right, so that's all I can say on that note. So as I always say, make money moves, or you're gonna live your life like a fool, family. I'm out. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you're having a great day. If you've been watching Larry's Anything Goes programming, you know that we are not only providing great financial intelligence content as much as possible by interviewing other financial professionals, professionals in the travel industry, real estate industry, etc., and so forth, but we provide various services when it comes to specific products that we sell, from anything that you would actually find on Amazon or actually at Walmart, etc., and so forth. And we are actually providing specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and etc., and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching, and hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live broke like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel, as you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature, to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer. Because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves, but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here. With a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from Larry's Anything Goes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out Larry's Anything Goes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day.